Good morning, my name is Wiz, and it is my life mission to give you a toast to characters that deserve recognition and why we fall in love with them. Today, I'll be expressing why Red Dead Redemption 2's Arthur Morgan is a character that feels more real than fiction. Grab your coffee and let us savor this character. Coming into Red Dead Redemption 2, one would not expect a character to be as endearing as John Marston. To my surprise, I was unexpectedly blown away by Arthur Morgan. His charm, quick-witted responses, and moral ethics made him feel like a character from a novel. Rockstar has reinvented the conventional tropes of what it means to be a protagonist. He does not have a dream that drives him to succeed, nor does he have some hidden power. He is neither the hero, nor is he the villain. He is simply a character living in the predicament he was thrown into. This, I believe, is what makes Arthur Morgan one of the most realistic characters to have been written and come to life in a video game. Make no mistake, Arthur Morgan is not perfect. Like real people, he is not one-dimensional. There are times he makes decisions for the greater good of others, and there are times he makes decisions for himself. It is exactly these imperfections that make him feel more than just a video game character. He is not trying to save every person he comes across and be a knight in shining armor. Instead, he focuses on the people that are in his life. The gang is his family, and he treats them as so. Every relationship is as different as the one before. Some are better, and others are worse. Just like any person, when we do things for our family, we sometimes do things that are not in our best interest. It may even be against our own conscience. Arthur displays this beautifully when he raises his voice and you hear the conflict within himself between the words. At this point of the video, I will be using prime examples from the game. Please, if you have not finished the game, I urge you to do so. Without further ado, spoilers ahead.
And in such complex circumstances. Arthur, isn't it? Arthur Morgan?
Who are you?
Yes, Arthur Morgan, Vanderlyn's most trusted associate. You've read the files. Typical case, orphaned street kid seduced by that maniac's silver tongue and matures into a degenerate murderer. Agent Milton?
This desperate need to speak, to be heard, and to be understood reflects part of the human condition. These moments give the player an insight into Arthur's ambitions outside of the gang. Like anyone, he dreams of something beyond his reach and understands why it cannot be attained. He does not dwell in his own disparity, and he does not always live in the moment. He constantly reflects on who he is and pursues to better himself even when he falls back into old habits. He acknowledges that he has killed innocent people and can't always control his anger. One key example is when he is willing to physically antagonize and threaten innocent people to collect debt money. This is evidently seen in the Chapter 2 mission, Money Lending and Other Sins, in which Arthur viciously tells Thomas Downs, "Then sell your wife, your family, or something. We ain't your idea of charity."
I ain't looking for forgiveness. It ain't about that. But don't forgive me. Just take the money and get out of here, please. I know I ruined your life. I suffer for it every day.
There are decisions Arthur has made that haunt him. The subtle moments that Arthur reveals his emotions are some of the most well-written moments in this game. We can see in his actions and his tone of voice when he feels remorse and when he is genuinely happy. Such examples include the anger and resentment Arthur holds against John in the beginning of the game for abandoning not just the gang, but Jack and Abigail. This reflects the emotions and discontent Arthur holds against himself for the death of his own wife and son, Eliza and Isaac. Like many of us, Arthur has skeletons in his closet. There are moments that define us, and that there are moments that will always break us. Arthur is no different. This is clearly seen in Chapter 6 when he speaks to Rainfall in the lines, "I've killed a lot of people for a whole lot of dumb reasons, and I ain't never seen much glory in it." We see that he acknowledges his mistakes, and while he knows he is far from saving, he continues to try, giving every part of him to do the right thing before his last breath.
You know, nothing means more to me than this gang, the bond we share. It's the most real thing to me. I would kill for it, I would happily die for it.
When Arthur is forced to play the hand of the villain in order to rob banks, collect debts, or murder, his reasoning is for the sake of his family. People use reasons to justify their actions on a daily basis, and Arthur is no different. Arthur acknowledges his errors and continues to try to do better. However, just like in real life, there are moments in which he is confronted by love, temptation, and loneliness. He writes in his journal to remember days that won't come back and help those that are less fortunate than he is. Arthur takes the time in his days to reflect on not just himself, but those he holds dear. He understands the value of family and goes the extra mile to bring a smile to their face. However, like all of us, Arthur finds himself at odds with those he holds dear and questions their motives. This is best seen with his relationships with his two fathers, Dutch and Hosea. We see how both men have shaped the man Arthur is. From Dutch's tendency to take action to Hosea's urgency to avoid unnecessary bloodshed and wisdom. The boat ride with the two characters is one of the most light-hearted moments in this game and serves as a symbol of family and loyalty. Even in the hardest of times, we can find ourselves feeling content and for a moment, just a moment, genuinely happy. Arthur deals with loss similar to any one of us. He becomes filled with resentment and sorrow as he gradually comes to terms that life will always continue to move forward. With the death of Sean, Lenny, and Hosea, Arthur changes from the outlaw filled with anger to one that takes on more responsibility and avoids taking unnecessary risks to avoid bloodshed. He becomes an older brother, overlooking his siblings and seeking what is best for every one of them, rather than one dream for all. While this change occurs deep into the game, it is a natural progression. He doesn't change overnight and become a saint. That would be unnatural and unrealistic. Instead, the writers expressed slight changes over a significant amount of time. While Arthur still retains the qualities of a gunslinger with a code of ethics, his view of the world is not the same by the time his book comes to a close. Seeing someone change for the better of not just himself, but for his loved ones made it all the more heartbreaking to see how his story ends. That about wraps up this video. I want to say thank you, Rockstar, the writers Dan Houser, Michael Unsworth, and Rupert Humphrey. Red Dead Redemption 2 serves as one of the pinnacles of storytelling in video games. It is a form of literature come to life. I cannot thank your team enough for the amount of quality seen in this game. Mr. Roger Clark, I want to personally say thank you. You have brought to life not just a character, but a person who reached beyond the screen. You've made us laugh, feel Arthur's anger and conflicting emotions, as well as cry for someone we never could have imagined. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know if you want content similar to this. Please share the moments that made you fall in love with Arthur in the comments down below. This is Wiz, and I'm all out of toast. Stay honest. Stay genuine.
Stick 'em up, cowboy.